Oh, and he said he's willing to trade that 100-acre plot in the suburbs for Vanessa Clark's life. For years, after breaking up with my ex-girlfriend Vanessa Clark, we ran into each other at a class reunion. Someone suggested we play Truth or Dare. Vanessa drew Truth. Someone asked her, "In your relationships, what's the smartest thing you ever did?" She glanced at me as, smirk curling at the corner of her mouth. Making my ex pay off my $700,000 in loans, then dumping him after I found a richer boyfriend. Everyone expected me to storm out in anger, but I just smiled and gestured for the game to continue. When my turn came, the question became, in your last relationship, was there anything you kept from your partner? Yes, I answered. What was it? My classmate pressed. I smiled and said, I'm actually the son of the richest man in the country. After a moment of stunned silence, my classmates burst into laughter. Liam Foster, have you been watching too many CEO short dramas while delivering food? Got yourself some delusions? Take my advice, stop trying to act rich. You haven't even taken off your delivery uniform. I glanced down at my Armani casual wear and the custom AGV helmet sitting beside me. I did kind of look like a delivery guy. Before I could respond, Vanessa's mocking voice cut through first. Liam Foster, we broke up 4 years ago. Why are you still so pretentious? This reunion is about reconnecting as friends. There's no need to show off wealth. Just be honest. I leaned back calmly in my chair, looking at her with cool indifference. I'm telling the truth. I really am the richest man's son. Without my connections, do you think you could have booked the VIP suite at this hotel? Actually, I hadn't planned to come to this reunion at all. I didn't want to see Vanessa, and I wasn't in the same social circle as these classmates anymore. No point forcing it. But a close friend called me 28 times begging me to come, saying Vanessa wouldn't be there. He also said everyone agreed not to talk about their situations, just to reconnect. But not only did Vanessa show up, she was flaunting herself shamelessly. A gold digger pretending to be high society. How ridiculous. But this fake socialite wouldn't let me off, continuing to press Liam Foster. There's a limit to bragging. My husband booked this suite with his VIP status. What does it have to do with you? With that delivery outfit? If you weren't riding on our coattails, would you even qualify to eat at such a high-end place? Vanessa's words sparked laughter around the table, and everyone looked at me with scorn. But I just waved dismissively and sneered. So you're saying I should be grateful to you? Vanessa pursed her lips and pointed at the food and wine on the table. Isn't that obvious? Without me, could you afford this expensive food? Could you drink this premium wine? I slowly raised my head, a slight curve forming at my lips. Vanessa Clark, you really haven't seen much of the world. Food at my house? Even the housekeeper wouldn't eat it. I certainly wouldn't. My words immediately triggered another round of mockery. Liam Foster, please stop showing off. You're just a nobody without Vanessa. You couldn't even get through the front door. Exactly. If Vanessa hadn't specifically requested you be invited, I wouldn't have bothered calling you. Just apologize to Vanessa. And you can at least drink some of this good wine. The mocking voices rose and fell. But I didn't take them to heart at all, 'cause everything I said was true. If I weren't trying to save these old classmates some face, I would have already told them. That Pine Mountain banquet was my property. Seeing my silence, Vanessa walked up to me with a wine glass. Want to know why I dumped you? Men without power should stop trying to show off. Drink this wine, and I'll pretend what just happened never occurred. Looking at Vanessa before me, I slowly stood and met her eyes. Vanessa Clark, I gave you some courtesy, but you actually think I'm still that lovesick? Poor kid from 4 years ago. Then I shouted toward the door, waiter, bring the wine list. I'm paying for everyone's meal tonight. The moment I finished speaking, a man in a suit walked into the suite and stood respectfully before me. It was Lucas Miller, the manager of Pine Mountain Banquet. I'd met him once when arranging the suite. I kept my eyes on Vanessa while speaking. Bring me your hidden menu and make everything on it. And 2 bottles of your best wine. Lucas nodded silently and left the suite. Everyone froze, including Vanessa, whose eyes went wide. The next second, she suddenly laughed. And you say you're not showing off. My husband and I have been to Pine Mountain Banquet at least 10 times. That there's no hidden menu. Could you at least rehearse before lying? After she spoke, everyone in the suite turned their eyes toward me. I could tell they were all waiting to see me humiliated. After all, in their eyes, I was still the poor kid Vanessa had heartlessly dumped. Back then to marry her. I'd fallen out with my father. Penniless. I had to deliver food. Who knew that? After I paid off her $700,000 in online loans, she'd climbed into the bed of rich kid Sebastian Ashford. Heartbroken, I went home to inherit the family business, vowing never to see Vanessa Clark again. Who would have thought that at this reunion, not only would I see this disgusting gold digger again, publicly humiliate me, using the fact that I paid off her loans, to grind my dignity under everyone's feet? I couldn't swallow this insult. Just because you haven't eaten it or seen it, doesn't mean you're important enough. I suggest you say less, and save yourself the embarrassment when the food arrives. Liam Foster, you. Before Vanessa could finish, the suite door opened again. Dozens of exquisite dishes were brought to the table. Under everyone's shocked gazes, Lucas held up 2 bottles of limited edition Hennessy and announced to everyone, "Our boss says everyone here is an honored guest. Tonight's meal is on the house." I nodded to myself. The owner of Pine Mountain Banquet was indeed smart, using one meal to curry favor with me. Definitely a good deal. Thank our boss for his kindness. Tell him. I was about to be polite when Vanessa waved her hand and cut me off. "Liam Foster, is it your place to speak? The boss is obviously doing this out of respect for my Sebastian. What are you pretending for? Thanking people on our behalf." With that, she pushed me aside and walked up to Lucas. "I thank Mr. Chase on my husband's behalf for his generosity. I'll drink this toast first. When my husband finishes his work in a few days, we'll definitely visit Mr. Chase together." As Vanessa drained her glass, Lucas's expression grew increasingly puzzled. He opened his mouth to say something, but I stopped him with a look. I grabbed my jacket from the back of my chair and turned to everyone. "I have things to do, so I'm leaving. Enjoy your meal.
Oh,
And next time you have a reunion at this level."
please don't invite me.
I really couldn't stay any longer. Vanessa's behavior was making me sick. I was too lazy to expose her. I'd consider this meal my final gift to her. But as I walked past her, she suddenly grabbed me. "Liam Foster, aren't you forgetting something?
What?
Pay for your own meal." I scratched my ear, wondering if I'd heard wrong. "Vanessa Clark, is your brain broken? They just said tonight's meal is free. What am I paying for?" Vanessa let out a cold laugh, her eyes full of disdain. "It's free because my husband has connections. What does it have to do with you? Since I'm treating everyone, I decide who I'm treating." She walked to the door and ripped down the itemized bill. "This meal costs $800,000 total. We have 20 classmates, so $40,000 each. I'm paying for everyone except you $40,000. Are you paying cash or card?" Lucas quickly stepped forward and said, "Miss tonight's bill." I pulled Lucas behind me and leaned close to Vanessa. "So you're determined to make things difficult for me today?" Vanessa nodded firmly. "That's right. I was going to let you enjoy an upper-class meal for old time's sake, but you just had to push it. In that case, I'll teach you a lesson today and show you exactly what you are." Hearing this, I didn't get angry instead I laughed.
Sorry.
"But unlike you, I know exactly what level I'm at. You're the one who doesn't know where you stand." As soon as I finished speaking, everyone at the table couldn't help commenting. "Liam Foster, I think you're addicted to pretending," looking down on Vanessa. "If you were so rich, would she have dumped a loser like you?"
Exactly.
Vanessa's husband is worth hundreds of millions. All your assets combined. Even match the numbers after his decimal point.
No kidding.
This guy is just a delusional clown. If he pays, nobody lend him money. I licked my lips and scanned the room. Everyone's words are quite entertaining. But I don't just look down on Vanessa Clark. I look down on all of you. Because everyone here is trash. I'm not usually social. I at least understand basic courtesy. From the moment I sat down until now, these so-called classmates hadn't discussed friendship once. They'd just been flattering and sucking up to Vanessa. With such lowly classmates, why should I save them any face? My words instantly made me the target of everyone's attacks. Even the classmate who had the best relationship with me stood up, angrily slamming the table. "Liam Foster, someone like you doesn't deserve to eat with us. Pay your bill and get out." Seeing the mockery growing louder, Vanessa's smile became more pronounced. She picked up a bottle of limited edition Hennessy and poured 10 full glasses. "Liam Foster, I know it's hard for a food delivery guy to come up with $40,000 at once. For the sake of you helping me before, I'll help you this time." She put her high heel on a chair and pointed at the 10 glasses. "You have 2 choices. 1. Kneel and lick my foot while admitting you're worthless. 2. Chug all 10 glasses in one go, then slap yourself." The suite fell into a deathly silence. The only sound was the hum of the central air conditioning and the shallow breathing of 20 classmates waiting for my humiliation. Vanessa stood there, her foot resting on the velvet chair, a triumphant smirk plastered on her heavily made-up face. The 10 glasses of Hennessy sat on the table like a toxic gauntlet. "Well," Vanessa goaded, swirling the wine in her own glass. "Clock's ticking, Liam. My patience isn't as cheap as your outfit." I looked at the 10 glasses. Then I looked at Lucas Miller, who was trembling with suppressed rage behind me. I gave him a subtle hand signal. "Wait." I stepped forward. The crowd murmured excitedly. They thought I was going to kneel. I reached out and picked up the first glass. "See," a male classmate jeered. "He knows his place. Drink up, delivery boy." I swirled the amber liquid, inhaling the aroma. "Hennessy Parody Imperial," I murmured. "A decent blend. But the temperature is off by 2 degrees. "Stop stalling," Vanessa snapped. "You know, Vanessa," I said softly, my eyes locking onto hers. "You gave me 2 choices. But you forgot the third." "There is no third."
Crash.
I didn't drink it. I didn't throw it. I simply opened my fingers and let the crystal glass plummet to the floor, shattering into 1,000 glittering diamonds near her expensive high heels. Vanessa jumped back, shrieking. "Are you crazy? That glass alone costs more than your life." 1. I counted calmly. I picked up the second glass.
Crash.
2. The third.
Crash.
The room erupted. Liam, stop. You're wasting thousands of dollars. You're going to pay for that. I ignored them. I moved with a rhythmic, terrifying precision.
Smash. Smash.
Smash. The rich aroma of cognac filled the room, mixing with the scent of fear that was slowly replacing their mockery. When the 10th glass shattered, the floor was a mess of crystal and liquor. I pulled a handkerchief from my pocket, silk, monogrammed, though none of them noticed, and wiped my fingers. I don't drink with trash, I said, my voice cutting through the noise. And I certainly don't kneel to it. Vanessa's face twisted into a mask of pure fury. Lucas, Manager Miller, look at this. He's destroying property. Call security. Throw him out and make him pay triple. She turned to Lucas, expecting the obsequious manager she thought she knew. But Lucas didn't move toward his radio. He walked past Vanessa, his leather shoes crunching over the broken glass, and stopped in front of me. He bowed. A full 90-degree bow. Lower than he would bow to a head of state. Young master, Lucas said, his voice trembling but clear. I apologize. I allowed these insects to disturb your meal. I accept my punishment. The room froze. Vanessa let out a nervous, confused laugh. Manager Miller? What are you doing? He's a delivery guy. Did he pay you to act? Lucas straightened up, turning to face Vanessa. His expression transformed from subservience to icy professionalism. Miss Clark, Lucas said cold. You seem to be under a severe misunderstanding. The VIP suite was not booked because of your husband's status. Mr. Ashford is merely a silver card member. He doesn't have the clearance for this floor.
What?
Vanessa stammered. But the wine? The hidden menu? The hidden menu exists only for the Foster family, Lucas announced, his voice projecting to the back of the room. And this entire hotel chain, including Pine Mountain Banquet, is a subsidiary of Foster Global. He gestured to me with an open hand. You are standing in Mr. Liam Foster's dining room, and you just asked the owner to pay for his own food. Chapter 2. The husband arrives. A pin drop would have sounded like a gunshot. The classmates looked from Lucas to me, their brains struggling to process the information. The delivery guy uniform suddenly didn't look like a costume anymore. It looked like the eccentricity of a billionaire who didn't care what aunts thought of him. Impossible, Vanessa whispered, shaking her head violently. He's lying. Liam paid you. That's it. Liam, you used the money you saved delivering food to bribe the manager, didn't you? How pathetic. She pulled out her phone, her fingers fumbling over the screen. I'm calling Sebastian. He's downstairs parking the car. When he gets up here, you're both dead. He knows the CEO of this group. I pulled out a chair, the main seat, and sat down, crossing my legs. Call him. I will. She dialed, putting it on speaker. Honey. A male voice boomed from the phone. I'm in the elevator. Had to take a call with the bank. Is the party started? Sebastian. Vanessa wailed, squeezing out fake tears. You have to come help me. That loser ex of mine, Liam, he's here. He's joined forces with the manager to humiliate me. They broke glasses and said you aren't a VIP. What? Sebastian Ashford's voice dropped an octave. Who dares disrespect the Ashford name? I'll be there in 10 seconds. Keep them there. The call ended. Vanessa smirked, her confidence returning. You're done, Liam. Sebastian just closed a deal with the Foster Group yesterday. He actually knows people in high places. I checked my watch. Lucas, pour me a glass of water. Tap is fine. Yes, young master. 30 seconds later, the double doors were kicked open. Sebastian Ashford strode in. He was a man in his 30s, wearing a suit that cost $10,000, radiating the arrogance of new money. He scanned a room and locked eyes on Vanessa. Who is it? Sebastian barked. Who upset my wife? Vanessa pointed a manicured finger at me. Him. And that manager. Sebastian turned his glare toward me. He marched forward, his chest puffed out. Listen here, you little punk. I don't know who you think you are, but...
He stopped.
He was 5 feet away from me when the color drained from his face, so fast it looked like he was having a stroke. I looked up, holding my glass of water. Hello, Sebastian. How was the bank call? Did they approve the bridge loan for the West Side project? Sebastian's knees actually knocked together.
He knew me.
Of course he knew me. Last week, he had sat in the waiting room of my father's office for 6 hours just to get a 5-minute meeting with the vice president. I had walked past him, and the VP had stood up to salute me. And Mr. Foster? Sebastian croaked. Vanessa didn't read the room. She grabbed Sebastian's arm. Honey, why are you being polite? Slap him. He made me look like a fool.
Slap.
The sound was crisp and loud, echoing off the high ceilings. Vanessa went flying. She crashed into the table, knocking over a plate of untouched lobster. She clutched her cheek, staring up at her husband in shock. Sebastian? Shut up. Sebastian screamed, his voice cracking. You stupid, ignorant woman. Do you want to kill us all? He spun around and threw himself to his knees. He didn't just kneel, he prostrated himself, his forehead touching the shards of glass on the floor. Mr. Foster. Liam. Sir. I had no idea. If I knew she was offending you, I would have divorced her yesterday. Please, please don't pull the funding. Chapter 3. The 100-acre plot. The classmates were trembling. The man they idolized, the rich husband, was kneeling in broken glass, begging the delivery boy for mercy. I took a sip of water. Get up, Sebastian. You're making a mess. Sebastian scrambled to his feet, blood trickling from his forehead, but he kept his head bowed. Vanessa said I was pretending. I said conversationally. She wanted me to pay $40,000 for a meal I own. She's insane, Sebastian said quickly. She's a liar. I'll handle her. I'm sure you will, I said. But that doesn't solve my problem. You see, for years ago, I spent $1,700,000 clearing her debts. She took that money, called me poor, and left. I can repay it, Sebastian offered. I'll write a check right now. 2 million. 3 million. I laughed. It was a dry, humorless sound. Money? Sebastian, look around you. Do I look like I need money? I stood up and walked over to Vanessa. She was weeping silently on the floor, her makeup ruined, looking up at me with terror. The arrogance was gone, replaced by the realization that she had been poking a sleeping dragon. I don't want your money, Sebastian, I said. But I do recall something. The Ashford family holds the deed to a certain plot of land. 100 acres in the northern suburbs. The old marshlands. Sebastian froze. The marshlands? But sir, that's where our family's ancestral shrine is. And the warehouse for our entire logistics chain. It's the heart of our operations. Is it? I asked, feigning surprise.
Oh.
And here I was, willing to trade. Trade? Sebastian looked hopeful. Yes, I said. He said he's willing to trade that 100-acre plot in the suburbs for Vanessa Clark's life. For years. Sebastian asked, confused. My lawyer. I smiled. He prepared the contract this morning. It's a simple exchange. You sign over the 100 acres, the land, the warehouse, the shrine, to me. In exchange, I don't bankrupt your company by noon tomorrow. And, as a bonus, I let you keep Vanessa. The room went quiet. The deal was cruel. The land was worth vastly more than the debt. But without the Foster Group's backing, Sebastian's company would collapse anyway. Or, I continued, you refuse. I crush your stock. You lose the land to the bank anyway. And you end up on the street with your lovely wife. Sebastian looked at Vanessa. Then he looked at me. I'll sign, he said instantly. Vanessa screamed. Sebastian, that's your family heritage. You can't. Shut up. Sebastian kicked her away. It's your fault we're in this mess. Lucas. I snapped my fingers. Lucas produced a document from his jacket. He had it ready because I always have contracts ready. It's how the rich stay rich. Sebastian signed with a shaking hand. Excellent, I said, taking the paper. Now, the second part of the deal. I said I'd let you keep Vanessa. I didn't say I'd let you keep her comfortably. I turned to the classmates. They shrank back, terrified I would address them. You all enjoyed the show, right? I asked. You ate the appetizers. You drank the wine before I broke the glasses. We didn't mean it, Liam, one girl sobbed. The bill, I said to Lucas. $800,000. Split it amongst everyone in the room, except me. Yes, sir. And as for you, Vanessa, I leaned down, whispering in her ear. You wanted to live the high life? You wanted to look down on people? From today onward, the Ashford Group is blacklisted from every bank in the country. Sebastian has the land title transfer pending, but his liquid assets are frozen as of. I checked my phone. 5 minutes ago. Sebastian checked his phone. His face went gray. My accounts, they're locked. You have the land deal to save your company from bankruptcy court, Sebastian, but you have zero cash flow, I explained. Which means you are now poor. Poorer than I was when I delivered food. I straightened my jacket. Vanessa, you dumped me because I was poor. Let's see how long you stick with Sebastian when he's waiting tables. Chapter 4. The Fall. I walked out of the suite without looking back. Behind me, the sounds of chaos erupted. The classmates were screaming about the $40,000 debt they each suddenly owed. Sebastian was screaming at Vanessa. Vanessa was screaming at the world. Lucas walked beside me to the elevator. Sir, did you really want that marshland? It's mostly swamp. It's not about the land, Lucas, I said, pressing the button for the lobby. It's about where they have to live. Sir, there's a small caretaker shack on that 100-acre plot. Since I own it now, I'm going to let them live there. Rent-free. Lucas smiled, a cruel, understanding smile. And the surroundings? I'm turning the 100 acres into a garbage processing plant, I said. Vanessa hates bad smells. She's about to live in the middle of the city's largest landfill. 3 months later, the rain was pouring down on the northern suburbs. It was a grim, industrial area dominated by heavy trucks and the stench of refuse. I sat in the back of my Maybach. The tinted window rolled down just an inch. Is this the place? I asked. Yes, sir, the driver replied. We were parked outside a rusted chain-link fence. Inside, surrounded by mounds of earth and waiting construction equipment, stood a dilapidated wooden shack. It looked like a strong wind would blow it over. The door of the shack opened. A woman stepped out, carrying a plastic bucket. It was Vanessa. She looked 20 years older. Her hair was matted and dull. She wore a stained oversized t-shirt and cheap rubber boots. She was shouting at someone inside. "Get up, you useless idiot. We have to sort the recyclables if we want to eat tonight." Sebastian stumbled out. He looked even worse. He had lost weight, his eyes hollow. He grabbed the bucket from her, and they began to fight, wrestling in the mud over a plastic pail. It was a pathetic, visceral sight. "Sir," my assistant said from the front seat, "the construction crew is ready to start the foundation for the waste management facility tomorrow. Should we evict them?" "No," I said, watching Vanessa slip and fall face first into the mud. "It's part of the contract. They can live there as long as they want, as long as they stay married. And if they divorce, then the debts I froze come back. They'll go to prison for fraud." I rolled up the window. The smell was getting inside. "Let's go," I said. "I have a board meeting." As the car pulled away, splashing mud onto the sidewalk, I saw Vanessa look up. She saw the taillights of the luxury car. For a second, our eyes met through the rain and the tinted glass. She didn't know it was me, but she knew that car represented everything she had thrown away. She slumped back into the mud, weeping into her hands, while the rain washed over the 100-acre plot that had become her prison. I leaned back in the leather seat, closing my eyes. The debt was paid. The past was buried. Now it was time to run the world.